Make a bank deposit. When you make a payment to an RO or post a payment in accounts receivable, you are posting that amount to the general ledger in real time to the undeposited funds account, whether it's cash, check, credit card, doesn't matter. So from here, you need to make a bank deposit in MaxxTraxx to get those funds into the right bank account. This will update your checking account on the general ledger as well as your check register. I recommend that you make a deposit whenever there's a deposit to your account. So if you take credit cards, that's typically every day in the form of your nightly credit card batch. So let's take a look at how this is done. From the menu bar, click Banking and select Make Bank Deposit. Select the bank account that this deposit is going to be made into by highlighting the account and clicking Select, or just double-click on the account. So here we can see the system groups checks, American Express, MasterCard, and Visa into their own sections. The items listed under each group are in ascending order by date, and these are the dates that these payments were posted into the system. Click in the Select column next to the items to be deposited for this bank account. When I make my deposit, I group my credit cards together as one deposit, except for American Express, which I deposit separately because American Express shows up as its own deposit on my bank statement. So let's do our Visas and MasterCards first. Now click the Next button to enter the date of the deposit, and here we can verify it's going into the right bank account. Enter the date or click the Select button and choose from the calendar. And we could enter a memo for this deposit if we wanted to. Then click Post and Close, or in our case, Post and Add Another. And now we have the option to print one of these two deposit reports. The deposit slip will list checks being deposited and their amounts. The deposit item's details lists all of the transactions for that deposit with the item transaction number, a description of the transaction, the customer name, their check number if it was a check, and the payment amount. Both reports have a grand total and list the bank account information the deposit is going into, as well as the date and transaction number for the actual deposit. So we would select the details list for this deposit. Now let's deposit our American Express. Click Next, change our date, and click Post and Add Another. And last, we have our checks and cash to deposit. Note here, we also have the option to click the Select All or Unselect All buttons to put check marks or remove check marks next to every payment on our list. Now I usually make out a deposit slip for each day, matching what I noted as my cash drop from my daily sales and cash drawer report, which I also run each day. For the cash, enter the amount of cash you have for that deposit, and note here that the system will track any cash that you have on hand in the parentheses. I usually keep $300 cash on hand to make change and pay for things like fuel, car washes, company lunches, that kind of thing. Now let's click Next, change our date, and now Post and Close. And this concludes the lesson on Make a Bank Deposit.